Hey y'all, welcome back to Crisis Monday. Today we're here looking at the Army Men Combat Force. This is something I bought off of Walmart.com, and if I still have the link, I'll put it in the description, unless it's sold out. This might have been the last one, I'm not entirely sure, but maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But I'll link it in the description if it is not. So anyway, let's take a look at some of the vehicles. First off, well, I'm just going to pretend that this cannon is a vehicle. This is a cannon. This is one of the main reasons I bought this, because it's kind of hard to find cannons that aren't made by BMC or Timmy. The wheels are a little funky on it. They're not entirely locked into place. Excuse me. But this does move up and down, which is nice. And this thing clicks into the back of the Jeep so you can tow it along. I'll show you that later. Speaking of the Jeep, we have a gray Jeep. Now this is a pretty hard color of Jeep to find, and it is it's not that great. The it kind of rolls pretty weird. The axle here, if you look at the front, is not entirely straight, and on the back the wheels aren't entirely straight. And this does click in here, so you can tow this behind, although I don't know why you'd want to do that since this is green and this is gray. But this is a nice find, and if you do it in stop motion, then I suppose it's not really going to matter how it rolls. You'll probably just move the wheels around. But this is a nice find. This is a gray tank. It's a light tank. On the bottom, it's got some wheels that spin. It's a nice tread printing here. Yeah, there it is. This does spin a nice 360 degrees in both directions. It's unlimited. So it's a decent tank, although it's kind of small compared to what I've known. I guess it's just more of a maybe a one-person tank. Bit of a squeeze to get in there. Now for some other accessories, we have this tent. Pretty simple. I think it's green or tan. I don't know. The colors here aren't entirely different. It's kind of hard to distinguish. There's nothing nothing inside, and that's all there really is to that. Then we have these bunkers. What's different about these than what is normally seen with bunkers is that this has one hole at the front, whereas usually they'll have like a hole here and a hole here. And yeah, so this is nice to have, provide a little diversity in your collection. And they do stack, by the way, in case you want to make these more tall. So they do stack. And let's take a look at these barbed wire. These are pretty good barbed wire, although they're a little brittle. This broke while I was filming the first take for this. And they stand up well. They're not, I guess they don't stand up that great. They're a little bouncy, but they're not entirely prone to fall over for no reason. And they are, they're pretty good. They're not 100% great, but they're pretty decent. And we have some flags here. Let's take a look at the German flag first. Interesting that they have flags since both figures are based off of American Vietnam troops. So this is made out of like a weird pinkish, translucent color, and it's got the modern German flag, and there's no back, and these pops into here. And it fits in pretty loosely, although it's not gonna like fall out if you shake it, but it's not very tight fit, and it might wear down and kind of fall out if used too much. Now we have the American flag, which is made of this black color, and it's on the back. There's no flag. Same deal. This one's a bit more tight of a fit. Now we have the figures. Now the production values of the figures aren't necessarily the best. This figure right here notably came without a head, although I think it's kind of funny to have some figures that are a little deformed. I think I have another one, but these are off-brands from Timmy Toys. If you're looking for the originals, that's where to go. And these are cheap Chinese off-brands, or comparatively cheap, I guess. This wasn't a super cheap set to get. Now, let's look at the gray figures first. They're pretty decent. This is the Flamethrower Troop, and there's not a whole lot of detail, so I'm not going to show every pose, but you can just take a look. So, it's got this there. And it's pretty brittle plastic. I wouldn't want to bend it a whole lot because it might snap off or break. I'm assuming that's what happened to that head, and I just lost it. But yeah, it is. And they have no equal amount of poses. So, my gray troopers didn't come with any shooting poses. It's pretty rotten luck. And so, I mean, I guess you could pretend that the flamethrower troop is a shooting pose, but as for the as for these guys, it's a lot better plastic, I think, or not plastic. This one's a lot more brittle for the green guys, but it's a lot better detail. Yeah, I'll just show that. So that's all there really is to this set. Yeah, there's not a whole lot else I want to say. I will link it in the description if I have it, but if I don't, then I just don't have the link. It was on Walmart.com, and I'll see you all I'll see you guys all later in the next video.